So, you've probably heard this term UX getting tossed around, but what does it actually mean? Well, today we're going to break down user experience design in just a few minutes. And trust me, you'll be surprised at how much it's already shaping your world every single day. Come on, we've all been there, right? You're topping away at an app that just refuses to work, or you're lost on a website that feels like some kind of impossible maze. That feeling, that raw frustration, that's exactly what we're talking about. Okay, check out this classic example. You walk up to a door, you see a handle, and your brain screams pull. But then you see a tiny sign that says push. That split second of confusion and feeling kind of dumb? Here's the secret. It's not your fault. It's a design problem. And there's a whole field of study dedicated to making sure that moment never, ever happens. All right, so if that frustration isn't on you, what's really going on here? This brings us right to the heart of it. What exactly is user experience? At the end of the day, UX is all about how you feel. Was using that new app a total breeze, or was it a complete headache? Is that car's dashboard intuitive, or do you need a manual just to turn on the radio? UX design is simply the art of solving problems to make sure our interactions with things are easy, enjoyable, and actually useful. Now, you might think the term user experience sounds super modern, right? Like some Silicon Valley buzzword. But the core idea? Oh, it's ancient. Think about feng shui. For thousands of years, it's been about arranging spaces so they feel harmonious. The term itself, though, that's more recent. It was coined in the 80s by a guy named Donald Norman while he was at Apple, trying to make their computers feel less like, well, computers, and more like tools for people. Okay, this next part is a big one. People get these terms mixed up all the time. UX, UI, product design, they are not the same thing. So let's clear this up once and for all. Let's use an analogy. Think of UX as the skeleton of a building, the core foundation and structure that makes it functional and safe. UI, the user interface, is all the stuff you see and touch, the paint color, the doorknobs, the light fixtures. And product design, that's the entire building, the whole shebang, combining the solid structure and the beautiful finishes with the goals of the project. Let's make it even more real with an example we all know, Spotify. The UX is that seamless, almost magical journey of thinking of a song, finding it in seconds, and hitting play. The UI is the look of that iconic green play button and the sleek way the volume slider moves. And the product design, that's the entire experience, including those genius features like your Discover Weekly playlist that just gets you and keeps you hooked. All right, but talking about it is one thing. The best way to really understand the power of UX is to see it in action. So let's look at some real-world examples of when it goes right and when it goes very, very wrong. You know, the difference is pretty simple. Good UX is invisible. Things just work. You don't even think about it. Bad UX is a roadblock. It's loud, it's frustrating, and it makes you want to throw your phone across the room. And here we have the perfect story of UX evolution, the Heinz ketchup bottle. We all remember the struggle, right? Hitting the bottom of that glass bottle, praying for ketchup to come out. The modern squeeze bottle totally solved that problem. It's a beautiful example of designers seeing a universal frustration and creating a genuinely better experience. But listen, bad design isn't just frustrating. At its worst, it can be downright dangerous. I mean, look at this. When your cooking spray and your bug killer look almost identical, that is a massive user experience failure just waiting to happen. And then there's bad design that's just, well, it's just awkward. This is a hilarious and perfect example of what happens when a design completely ignores the context of how a real human being is going to use it. It's a great reminder that designers have to think about things like, personal space. And this all leads to a really crucial point. Good UX isn't just about making things pretty. It has real, tangible benefits. For a business, a simple, clear checkout process can literally increase sales. For you and me, it just means less frustration and more loyalty to the products that actually work for us. Good design isn't just an option, it's a game changer. So, how do designers actually make all this happen? It's not magic, I promise. It's a systematic, thoughtful process. Most UX designers work within a simple 4-step framework: discover, define, design, and test. Think of it like a roadmap that takes them from a fuzzy idea of a problem to a sharp, user-tested solution. So everything kicks off with discovery. This is where designers basically become detectives. They get out there and talk to real people, they watch them, and most importantly, they listen. The goal here is simple: build empathy. You have to understand the real problem before you can even think about solving it. Okay, once they have all that research, they move into the define stage. This is where they take that big, messy cloud of insights and distill it down into one crystal clear problem statement. This step is so important because it makes sure the entire team is aiming at the exact same target. Then comes the fun part. Design. This is where ideas start to become real. Designers are sketching, they're building simple blueprints called wireframes, and they're creating interactive prototypes. It's all about brainstorming and building out potential solutions to that problem they just defined. And finally, the reality check. Testing. They put their prototype in front of real users and just watch. Where do people get stuck? What confuses them? What do they love? The feedback they get here is absolute gold, and it's what they use to go back and make the design even better. But here's the real key to the whole thing. This is not a straight line. It's a loop. What you learn in testing might send you right back to the design phase, or even all the way back to redefine the problem. This cycle of refining and improving is called iteration, and it's how good products become truly great products. As we wrap this up, if you remember only one single thing from all of this, please let it be this one powerful idea. This quote from the man who started it all is the entire philosophy of UX in a nutshell. It completely flips the script. If a product is hard to use, the person isn't dumb, the design is broken. The responsibility always falls on the designer to make things clear, intuitive, and helpful for the user. So the next time you use an app or even just open a door, take an extra second to look. Because now you know the basics. You'll start seeing the world through a designer's eyes, noticing the little details that make something a joy to use, and all the frustrations that prove there's still work to do. Thanks for joining our explainer.
Like, share, and subscribe.